Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's your guy Coldfire here, and today I'm going to be reacting to something I found earlier. Like I said before, if I find something older, I'm going to go back to it and I'm going to interview it. I want anything Madonna I'm going to try to cover on this channel at least. It says Madonna 1991 candid interview with the Queen of Pop from 60 Minutes Australia. Now this had to be, she just got finished with the Blonde Ambition tour. So I don't know what this is about, but anyways, this was a good era for her. But it's only 14.5 minutes long, but I'm still going to do it. Like I said, I'm not going to skip any interviews, or no matter what it is, I'm gonna react to it if it's Madonna. So don't y'all be worried. We'll eventually get something out there. It might be 5 years and I go back and react to something from 1990 or something. But let's get into it and see what they say about her.
Her millions of fans say she's sassy and sexy. Her critics, and there are a few of them too, say otherwise. But there's one thing about Madonna no one can deny, not even the lady herself. She shamelessly promoted herself all the way to the top of the rock pile. And now she's at it again, with a new movie which she calls a documentary and others call filth. Just the title should give you a fair idea of what it's all about. In Bed with Madonna. It consumed 250 hours of film. Madonna on stage.
Truth or dare?
Off stage. Madonna being Madonna. Well, maybe.
Thank you.
When you meet the lady herself, you find she's changed yet again. The Marilyn Monroe look is out. The brunette Madonna is in business. Changing your hairstyle now and colour, does that give you a few or maybe a couple of weeks of a little bit more privacy?
Well, what it does is, when you have bleach blonde hair, as soon as you walk out onto a street, people look, it's like a bright light. So it gives me about 6 to 10 seconds more of anonymity. All you need is your own imagination, so use it, that's what it's for.
She might want a few extra seconds of anonymity, but there is nothing private about her latest product.
We really didn't know what we were doing. I just said film it, because I'd grown really fond of all the people I was working with, and they were so entertaining to me. And I just said I wanted to make a movie of it.
And you also wanted to show that you're human like anyone else, didn't you?
Well, yeah. But it wasn't in my head going, I have to show the other side of myself to the world. I have to show the human side of myself. To me, it's more of a movie about life, period, than just my life.
It wasn't always flattering to you either, was it?
No, definitely not, but I'm not always pleasing to be with or look at or whatever, like anybody. We can't get it to sound better than this, then I'm not doing a show. So someone who knows about sound better come up here and explain something to me.
I remember this part.
Madonna's cameras were with her every step of the way on the 27-city Blonde Ambition tour last year. A tour the cynics called Blind Ambition.
Because it's raining, Freddie.
I know it is.
You think it's funny.
I don't. Nobody Get up there. I don't think it's funny at all. Well, here's Bert.
Get out. I'm having a business talk. Goodbye. Ow!
You run a tight ship.
Yeah. Are you a tyrant?
In terms of business, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
But are you as hard on yourself as you often are on the staff?
I think I'm harder on myself.
Are you?
Yeah.
In what ways?
I always want to be perfect, I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't, when I have a show, I don't want to sing a bad note. I don't want anything to go wrong in terms of my own performance. I insist on being perfect, and even if people say, oh, it was so great, I'm just going to concentrate on the one thing I know in my mind that I did wrong, and then, of course, I'll be obsessing about it all night. And meanwhile, everybody else will be telling me how great it was, so...
And you take that with a grain of salt?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to take compliments.
Great. Take a breath. Good.
This is crazy. Nobody talks about this on film?
Talks about what?
The insanity of doing this all on a documentary?
Along for part of the ride was Warren Beatty, Madonna's boyfriend at the time. And if this moment is anything to go by, he wasn't exactly a willing passenger.
Well, anyone that comes into this insane atmosphere, you realize that they all feel it when they come into this atmosphere. When they come into your dressing room, when they come wherever you are, they feel...
Since then, of course, Madonna and this particular leading man have gone their separate ways.
If you want to
Thank
talk
God.
all off camera, you have nothing to say.
She doesn't want to live off camera, much less talk.
Do you think a lot of people see you as a sex maniac who doesn't get enough?
I'm sure some people have that gross error in their mind about me, yeah. Yeah.
And is it true that you'd often prefer a book than a man?
Well, I think I said in an interview once that, you know, that people have this idea that I'm this raving nymphomaniac and that I've got to have sex all the time. And I said, frankly, I'd rather read a good book because in the end, I mean, I think people, if you're referring to a one-night stand or a superficial relationship, something you know isn't going to last, it's really more trouble because then you have to deal with it, you know? I mean, you're better off reading a good book, really, you know? So...
And might you...
Read a good book?
No, actually, I was going to ask you, might you occasionally have a one-night stand?
Oh, I've been guilty of that, yes.
Uh-huh. Today, it's Madonna the Demure. Yesterday, it was Madonna the Demon.
Call my woman a demon.
Like a Prayer, the video that rocked the Catholic Church, starring a former convent girl who, at the age of 10, had only one ambition, to be a nun.
The nuns were like movie stars to me. They had a kind of grace about them. They were, they were unreachable. They were mysterious.
And I think you've always said sexy.
Yeah, there was something about them, you know. I thought they were so great. I thought they were special. And of course I wanted to be special, so, you know, thought, okay, I'll be a nun.
And particularly with the name Madonna.
Yeah, of course.
And was it true that you thought you'd either be a nun or a superstar?
Well, not at the time. I mean, what happened is I wanted to be a nun, and then I discovered boys one day. So I took off my jacket, I took off my blouse, I was stripped down to my undershirt and my skirt, and I went chasing after this boy, and I tackled him on the ground, and then finally the nuns came to his rescue and said, you know, took me in a room, sat me down, and explained to me that not only was that no way for a lady to behave, but it was no way for a nun, if someone who was aspiring to be a nun, to behave, because nuns are not interested in the affection of men.
They don't go around raping young boys.
Well, chasing them, I don't know about
Okay.
raping them. And that hadn't occurred to me that they had a celibate life, you know, and I was like, what? You know, because I was just starting to be attracted to boys, and so I said, okay, forget it, that's it, forget it, I'm not going to be a nun.
Thank God.
You say you're a lapsed Catholic.
Uh-huh.
After your run-ins with the Vatican, I'm surprised that you haven't been excommunicated.
Well, I probably have, I just don't know it.
You'd think they could at least tell you.
Yeah, I think once you're excommunicated, though, they just don't want to have anything to do with it. I think they don't want to waste the stationery, you know. I mean, they just sort of pretend you don't exist.
Do you think some of your performances over the years have embarrassed your family?
Maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It doesn't worry you?
No.
What about your dad?
Well, you know, I want my dad to approve of everything he does, but I mean, I think everybody seeks their parents' approval, even if they know deep down inside they're never going to get it. You know, you can't get away from your parents, you know.
And you've always been his favourite?
Well, I'd like to think that. I could be wrong.
Hello.
Dad?
Yeah.
Hi, it's me.
Well, hi, how are you?
And in the movie, that golden-haired girl phones home.
I mean, Dad, I'd love it if you'd come to both shows. I don't know. I mean, It's pretty racy in some sections. I don't know if you could take it 2 nights in a row.
Oh, you have to get racy on the thing.
Dad, I'm not getting racy. I've been racy.
I know.
Then there's this scene. Madonna making a pilgrimage to her mother's grave. The first in 15 years. And with cameras rolling.
I'm gonna fit in right here. They're gonna bury me sideways.
Some found it offensive, but not Madonna.
There's nothing offensive about that.
She was only 6 when her mother died from breast cancer, a slow and painful death.
My mother was, you know, this superhuman creature, and I didn't want her to be weak. I didn't want her to be tired, and I was mad at her.
And she cried herself because she couldn't play with you.
Yes, yeah. And I could feel then, as a child, when I was sort of pounding on her, that even though I was a small child, that I had 100 times more strength than she did. I mean, I could feel her frailty even as a child, so.
You still miss her after 25 years. I know you were very young when she passed away. What sort of impact did she have on you?
Probably her death has had more of an effect on me than her life, than what she did when she was alive, you know. Just the fact that my mother disappeared, you know. So I think that affected me a great deal because all of a sudden something very important was missing. So I've sort of had this emptiness that I've had to sort of go out into the world to fill up, you know.
Which is why it helped you succeed.
Yes, actually it did. Made me very determined, and I think it gave me a lot of the drive that I had.
But if you believe the movie Madonna, sometimes there's no drive at all. Despite the adoring fans, sometimes she's alone.
It feels like a lie.
You've been compared to a mixture of Little Orphan Annie,
Little Orphan Annie.
Mae West,
Ooh,
and Margaret Thatcher.
really?
Have you heard that?
You know, I don't know anything about Little Orphan Annie. I know about Margaret Thatcher and Mae West, and they certainly, I think, they were great women. So, I mean, strong, intelligent, you know, in charge, whatever. So,
Sounds
not
like
shabby
you.
company. But I don't know anything about Little Orphan Annie. So, should I be insulted or flattered?
Innocence, I think.
Oh, that's good. Innocence is good. I think it would be a great mistake to take everything I do on stage seriously.
And do people get the joke?
Some do and some don't.
Does that frustrate you that I think so many people don't get the joke?
Yes, it does frustrate me.
Yet another past persona. This time, the material girl. It certainly has a ring of truth when you consider one estimate of her earnings. More than 50 million last year alone. But talk to the material girl today, and she says she'd give almost anything just to be a mother. How much does motherhood mean to you these days?
A lot. It means a lot. I do want to have a child.
Would you be a good mum?
Uh-huh.
Not too busy? Not travelling too much?
Well, I guess I'd have to change a few things. You know, but if I traveled, my child would be with me.
Hi.
You were great.
Thank
You were
you.
great. Thanks.
And one final twist from the star who can change tack
Thanks for coming.
almost as often as she changes hairstyle.
I'm so desperate
For what, honey?
for some fun. It's all
What
work.
do you have?
Well, this is fun to me.
In the movie,
I mean, all I
she's
do
been
is
there,
everybody
done
on the
that,
show after a while.
and more.
Boring.
Who do you want to meet next?
Who do I want to meet next?
Who would really blow you away?
I think I met everybody.
But back at the interview, there's still a
If I
spark.
traveled, I would.
So much to do, so much still to see. Is there anyone left that you'd like to meet in the world?
Yeah, a lot of people. I want to meet Gorbachev, and I want to meet.
Princess Diana?
Yeah, I'd like to meet her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bob Hawke?
Who?
Bob Hawke. He's the Prime Minister of Australia.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Oops.
There's certainly millions of Australians who'd like to meet you.
Uh-huh.
Are there any plans to come to Australia?
I'm gonna get there someday. I swear I'm coming soon.
I bet you say that to all the guys.
The Girly Show.
That's very good.
Hello, I'm Liz Hayes.
Ooh, well, that was an incredible interview. Yeah, that was dealing with the truth or dare, and you know, of course, it was considered a lot of controversy because one, nothing like that had ever been done where an artist went on a world tour as big as the Blonde Ambition tour was. It was her first big, I mean, like Taylor Swift's Era tour compared to nothing what Madonna did with Blonde Ambition. But to have the cameras on you through the good, the bad, and the ugly. But there was, even as I was growing up and watching that, you know, I didn't see anything to me that I thought would be considered perverted or whatever. It was a documentary about her tour and how motherly she was towards her dancers, and how she went to her mother's grave, but people thought that was offensive. What's so offensive about going to your mother's grave? I mean, that's what got her where she was, you know. And, you know, just to hear that she hated her mother because she didn't understand as a child how weak she was, that she couldn't play with her. Just, it kind of breaks your heart just to know that. But you know that it probably broke her mother's heart just as much. Not to mention the pain and agony they said that she was suffering through. And yeah, there was the LGBT. I think that what they found a problem was whenever she started was because she had mostly gay dancers, and she had the gay pride on there, and she was in bed, but she was in bed with a bunch of gay men. I mean, what's gonna happen? I mean, do her hair and makeup? I mean, just a joke. But, I mean, that's what most people would say. But no, they nitpick every little detail of something like, oh, she shouldn't be doing that on camera. She should be doing that on camera. And you know what? It's probably what started reality TV. Because, like, the Jersey Shore and The Bachelor and that stuff, you know, I never watch because I don't really like reality TV. I don't know, except for Survivor. I like Survivor. Me and my husband both watch Survivor. But other than that, I thought it was very fascinating. He was very candid with her, like it said, but he was respectful. He didn't, I think Madonna had made it up to this point where most people that saw the prime time of her doing Justify My Love and how she stood her ground and knew what she was saying, I think it resonated with most of the interviews after that, that most people knew when they went in to interview Madonna that they better have a backup plan, because this woman could throw a question back to you quicker than you can throw one to her. She's very intelligent, and that's why I love her. But anyways, that was Madonna, the Queen of Pop, on 60 Minutes Australia. I hope that you enjoyed that reaction video. If you did, leave us a comment down below and let me know what you think about it. And as always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let this be your go-to channel for Madonna, because like I said, I'm leaving no stone unturned when it comes to Madonna. But until then, I will see you later on the next adventure. Bye bye.